This video introduces a useful but often overlooked feature of the Ada Computer Science platform, the ability to set tests for your students. Now, many A-level teachers like to use baseline tests to assess their new Year 12 students, and Ada Computer Science makes this easy with our ready-made tests. Now, you may know our platform contains over 1,000 self-marking questions, but tests take these things further. Unlike quizzes, which you can use these questions and build your own quizzes, tests use questions that are exclusive, so haven't been seen before, and they're designed for summative assessment. So they have minimal feedback and they're ideal for exam type conditions. So let's have a look at some tests. Now, I'm logged in as a teacher, so when I go up to My Ada, I can see in the menu I've got Manage Tests there. Now, these tests currently, we've got 5 of them, but we're planning to do a whole load more. And these are ideal for setting for new Year 12 computer science students. So if we have a look at the computer systems test, we can preview the questions, and it gives you a page that tells you what sections are in this test. At the moment, there's just one section. And I can click on View Questions. And unlike quizzes, you get all the questions on the same page. Now, in this case, they're mostly multiple choice, and there are just 10 questions, although new tests, we're hoping to have more questions in them. So when I'm ready, if I go back to Set Tests, I can choose the Set Test button, and you get this dialog appearing. Now, you should have already created a group, so I have some groups already created. Let's choose New Year 12 group. And then this is interesting. This is what level of feedback you want your students to get. They go from having no feedback at all, which means the student doesn't even know what result they got at the end, all the way up to a detailed feedback for each question. I'm going to choose that one. I won't set a start date, but I will set a due date, and then I'm clicking Set Test. Now, what's interesting is where it appears in the mark book. So let's have a look at our Ada mark book, and you can see it's up here in the same menu, mark book, and I go to the group, and I can see I haven't got any assignments, but I do have one test, which is the one I just set, and the one student in my group hasn't taken it yet, so I haven't got any information about that student. So let's pretend to be a student. So if I go to another window, so I'm logged in as that student, and if I just refresh, I can see now in my menu I've got a little 1 appearing, which is telling me I have a test waiting for me to do. Now, it's up to you how you manage this as a teacher, whether you set it for homework or whether you set it as an in-class test. If you're doing it for homework, you might not want to put any feedback just in case students share their answers with each other, but it's obviously up to you. So let's go to the computer systems test. The student gets a little bit of information about the fact that you have to submit your test before the teacher can see it. So let's go to continue. And now I'm taking the test. So I am just going to choose random answers for these questions. The only one I'm sure of the answer of is question 8, that one. Let's just try the others, and then the student can click finish. They get another sort of chance to review the answers if they want to, but when they're ready, they can click submit. And because it says test submitted successfully, which I can close, but because as a teacher I chose to give the student detailed feedback, the user sees this screen. So it tells them what was their overall mark, what they got in each section, but as there was only one section, it's the same as the overall mark. And then they can click on next to look at detailed feedback. So now I can see which questions I got correct and incorrect. But rather than just saying the words correct or incorrect, we're trying to add a little bit more value to this. So in this case, there is an actual paragraph that explains why my answer was wrong. And also, very usefully, there is a sentence that gives them a link to where they can find more information about ROM in this case. So if I open that up, you can see it takes me directly to that information on Ada. So we hope that that will give students a bit more help if they're struggling with certain topics. Okay, so let's go back. So the student now doesn't see it anymore in their assigned tests because they've done it. And let's have a look at what the teacher sees in their mark book. So if I refresh my mark book now, I'm being a teacher now, and open up that group and go to that test, I can now see what the student got right and wrong. And this is where it becomes really powerful, because not only for each teacher, each student, but for all of the students in a particular group, you get a really good picture as to where their strengths and weaknesses lie. And it allows you to tailor your lessons to adapt to those strengths and weaknesses. And you can obviously set tests throughout the year and collate all your information into the one mark book. And if you need to import it somewhere else, then you've got the opportunity to download it as a CSV. You could also go and drill down to exactly what they answered in each question if you wanted to. So I hope you've enjoyed this little walkthrough of Ada Computer Science tests, and we'd love to hear any suggestions or feedback that you have. So please use the Contact Us link in the top menu and send us a message. We can't wait to hear from you. Thanks for watching.